Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Halftime FC. I'm your host Isaiah, and the Champions League came back yesterday, and we had some pretty good games. Well, we had one good game. The other game, I don't know. But if you tuned in yesterday, I mentioned Sevilla and Dortmund being the second game of that day. I totally had a mental lapse. I'm sorry about that. I think I was just excited about getting the first episode out. So I was just like rambling on about a game that wasn't being played that day. The game that was played that day was Liverpool versus Leipzig. Um, but yeah, let's get into this PSG Barcelona game. PSG ended up winning 4-1, which was against my prediction. I thought that Barca would win 2-1. Looking at Barca's form in the league, I thought that Barca were going to edge out PSG. I didn't say they'd blow them out. I just thought they would edge them out. But but no, when the game began, PSG put a lot of pressure on Barca, and you know, Barca didn't necessarily crack. But PSG actually ended up giving up the first goal through a penalty, and Messi just he smashed it into the right corner. Navas guessed the right way, but he didn't guess the right height, so he gave a penalty. So Barca ended up scoring first. But Kylian Mbappe, man, he scored a hat trick, had 3 goals. Moise Keane also chipped in with his goal, his header, a really good header. I have to say, well, probably bad Barca defending, but man, PSG bossed the midfield, man. Verratti, Gaya, Paredes, they really put their marker down on the midfield, and you could tell that was the plan by Pochettino to really expose the fact that Barca isn't very athletic. They're not a very athletic team. They're a very finesse team, and I think that PSG exposed that about Barca. Definitely, Barca were losing the ball constantly. They couldn't create chances. The only chances that they really had were off like a counterattack. I believe Griezmann had a chance when the game was 1-1 to go up 2-1. He had a chance from the left. It missed by a few, and I believe Ousmane Dembele had a chance. A pass to him by Neymar off a Kurzawa slip. Kurzawa slipped, and it left a gap open in the box. And Dembele just didn't put his foot through the ball, and he scuffed the shot. And it was an easy catch for Navas in goal. And those are the chances that you have to take advantage of. Definitely in the Champions League, because you know it's not guaranteed that you're going to get those chances again. Especially in Barca's position, where they're not the dominant team right now. And they weren't the dominant team against PSG. But yeah, I want to get into Mbappe's hat trick, and what was impressive to me about Mbappe's hat trick was the variety in which he scored his goals. It was really a complete striking performance, I'd have to say. The first goal, he was flicked on by Verratti, and he dribbled through the defense to the left side and just smashed it with his left into the top left corner. Amazing goal. The second goal was great as well. Florenzi running into the box on a break. Excuse me. Florenzi running into the box on a break. Taking a shot. PK doesn't really get his whole foot on the ball to clear it. He kind of does a half clearance, and Mbappe just playing that poacher role, just playing, just being in the right place at the right time to catch the ball off that rebound. Smashing it in. The ball barely, Icardi barely got out of the way of making contact with that ball. But nonetheless, it was smashed in by Mbappe. And then the third goal, Barca were chasing the game, trying to get something else out the game, so they could go into the second leg with a base to build on. And they left themselves open at the back. And as usual, we all know what happens when you leave yourself open at the back when you're chasing the game. But Mbappe just, he just places the ball so beautifully in a place that, Ter Stegen couldn't get it. And it was a really, really, really nice goal. All three of those goals were so contrasting. They were all beautiful in their own rights. And it was just a complete striking performance by Kylian Mbappe. It was a 10 out of 10 for me in performance. The whole team really performed for one another, which is something that we really haven't seen from PSG. We always felt like it was a team full of individuals, but no, today it looked like an entire team. They had a game plan, they had a way and a style that they wanted to play, and they really executed that. And I think after this performance, they have to be one of the favorites to win they have to be one of the favorites to win the tournament, along with Bayern Munich, Manchester City. If they continue playing like that. Moise Keane's goal was really good as well. It was a very good header. I have to give him all credits for finishing it. Because how many times do we see free headers and people not finish their free headers? But I do have to say, Barca needs to strengthen athletically. They're not a very athletic team. There was no one marking Keane at all. He was legit by himself, and that's a problem. You have to be able to defend set pieces. That's minimum. You have to be able to defend set pieces, or you're going to concede goals. But yeah, I felt bad for Messi, because he just doesn't have that supporting cast. He was right. There's not a lot of quality in the team right now. There really isn't. I thought after the game against Alves that, all right, he's looking at the team. He's saying, all right, I could play with these guys. I could play with these guys. But after that game, the Champions League kind of exposes you. Barca they don't have that quality that they used to have. And it really has an effect on Messi's game and what he can do. I think Messi leaves after this year, but that's a whole different topic for another day. All in all, I do think that Ronald Koeman got the team wrong. I don't think that Serginho Dest should have been left out isolated against Kylian Mbappe. I don't think Dest is a bad player. I'm very proud of Dest. Obviously, him being American and playing for Barcelona, which there are a lot of Americans in this Champions League. Like almost every game has an American. It's crazy. But yeah, I don't think he should have been left isolated. I don't think he was ready for Kylian Mbappe, because Kylian Mbappe could take on the best of the best defenders, and he can make them look bad. Serginho Dest is not the best of the best defenders. So I thought that it was just I don't think it was a very strong choice in who to play against Mbappe. Also, I don't think PK should have been out there. PK doesn't have the pace to really the pace that Barcelona needs to keep up with the team like PSG. Busquets, didn't really have an effect on the game. Pedri, De Jong kept losing the ball in midfield. But I don't think that was down to choice. I mean, those are the guys that he wants to play. In terms of Pedri and De Jong, but they just didn't have that quality today, and that the style of play that Barca needed to be successful. But we move on. PSG go into the next leg at home, up 4-1, and I don't think they're gonna blow it this time. I think they're gonna take care of Barcelona and move on to the next round. But yeah, we move on. The next game for that day was Liverpool versus Leipzig, and this game was weird, because Liverpool put a lot of pressure on Leipzig. They put a lot of pressure on Leipzig, but Leipzig they had chances. Definitely almost header took a freakish hit off the inside post and didn't go in for some reason. And I think if that goal goes in, it changes the game, especially the kind of form that Liverpool have been in. I think if they concede that goal, they kind of go into that mode of, okay, let's try not to concede another goal, then it affects them going forward. But, that ball didn't go in, and it allowed Liverpool to continue to put that pressure, play that higher line against Leipzig. And you could see it did have an effect on Leipzig, because they kept giving away the ball. They really didn't do a lot of favors for themselves in this game. But I have to say, though, they were very charmed to go into halftime 0-0. At halftime, it was still 0-0. There were chances on both ends. Mane had a header Firmino had a ball that was actually put into the net that was called off because of an out of bounds, and Mo Salah had a one-on-one against the keeper that he didn't finish. In all rights, it could have been played square across the Sadio Mane, but for whatever reason, maybe he didn't see him, or for whatever reason, it just didn't happen. But they went into the half 0-0, and when they came back out, Leipzig looked like a different team. They were putting pressure on Liverpool. Excuse me, sorry. They were putting pressure on Liverpool. They were playing the game in Liverpool's half. I believe even Nkunku, he broke through and he had a one-on-one against Alisson, and he missed it. But nonetheless, they were playing like we could be the dominant team as well. Which they're second in the Bundesliga. They should be playing like that. But what really killed Leipzig in this game was mistakes, man. You can't make mistakes against a team like Liverpool. You can't make mistakes against that front three, Salah, Firmino, and Mane, because they will 100% punish you for it. And that's exactly what Marcel Sabitzer did. Marcel Sabitzer tried to play a back pass. He tried to play a back pass, and Salah was onto it. He was 100% onto it, and in all rights, it wasn't a good pass. Klosterman slipped trying to get the pass, and Salah was through it on goal, scored, bang, 1-0. The next goal came about 2 or 3 minutes later. 2 goals in 5 minutes conceded. Mukalele, he tried to control a ball that was lobbed through over the top, and he totally misses it. He slips and falls, and Mane's through on goal, bang, 2-0. I read a quote by Nagelsmann saying that he doesn't believe that his team is 2-0, 2 goals worse than Liverpool in that game. He didn't believe that they were 2 goals worse than Liverpool in that game, and I kind of believe that as well. Leipzig are, they're definitely capable of playing better. They had a lot of chances. Angelino had a chance. The wingback from Man City, he had chances. Wang Yi-Chan he had chances. They had some one-on-ones, but I have to say I kind of have to question Nagelsmann a little bit as well, because he's seen Liverpool's form in the league. I'm sure he has. And I'm just surprised that he didn't decide to attack them with a true striker. I mean, they have Poulsen sitting on the bench. I'm surprised that, and he eventually came on, but I'm surprised that, he didn't start him, and put that pressure on Liverpool. I think the next game he really owes it to, the team to like put that pressure on Liverpool and, play a striker and try to get in their faces, because, you can attack Liverpool this year. You can get at them, and I think they need to be a little bit more braver. They didn't play with a striker, and I think that ultimately was the problem. And they didn't create enough. They gave Liverpool too much space to play. Too much space out wide. So those are the things that I think need to be changed with Nagelsmann. But then again, I'm not the coach. He probably had a game plan and everything, and it probably looked right to him. But we'll move on. So we have 2 games today in the Champions League. We have Porto versus Juventus, and that one's interesting because it's Ronaldo versus Pepe. It's Ronaldo returning to Portugal. Of course, we know he started his career at Sporting. Porto, they're on a run right now where they're tying games. They're second in Liga Nos, behind Sporting, 10 points off the top spot. And in the last 26 games, I think they've won 19, but they've been drawing lately. So that's the kind of form they're in. They've been drawing games. They came back from 2 behind recently to draw a game, and Juve in their last 6 games, aside from the game against Napoli, they've been winning, and they've been keeping clean sheets. They've only given away 1 goal before the Napoli game, and I believe that was against Inter Milan, in the Copa. So a couple key injuries for Juventus. Quadrado's injured, Arthur is injured, Paulo Dybala is injured, um, and yeah, Paulo Dybala is injured, and Aaron Ramsey is injured as well. Um, I think those injuries are going to play a factor in making those substitutions towards the end of the game. I think Juve will score goal. I believe the game is going to end 1-1, but those substitutions, when guys get tired toward the ends of games and you want to make those subs, you want to put in playmakers, you want to put in people who that could turn the game. I believe that not having guys like Arthur, not having guys like Quadrado who could get up and down the wing, up and down the wing. Danilo could do the same thing, but those are less options that you have coming off the bench that could give you that extra boost towards the end of the game. So I believe that Pirlo will try to play it safe. I believe that both managers will try to play it safe. And I think they'll settle for the 1-1 draw and play their fates back out in Turin. When they play the reverse fixture, I do believe that. Yeah, but I think it's going to be an interesting game, 100%. We all know that Ronaldo has played with Pepe at Real Madrid. They play in the Portuguese national team together. They've been very successful. So it's going to be interesting watching Pepe try to stop Ronaldo now. It'll definitely be a very interesting game. There's a lot in it. And yeah, I'll definitely check it out. The second game for today will be Sevilla versus Dortmund. So we all know BVB Dortmund. They beginning of the season they were talks about excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Winning the Bundesliga, and they've dropped off to lowest, I believe, 7th place. That back line, Emre Can, Manuel Akanji, Max Hummels, and Guerrero, they're just not really getting it done right now. Remember, they gave him 5 goals to Stuttgart, and if you give them 5 goals to Stuttgart, Sevilla, they're European champions. They have they're really good up front. Yusuf Nasri, Ivan Rakitic, Lucas Ocampos. They just signed Papu Gomez. That they could be a real problem for Dortmund. Dortmund have all the attacking talent up front. They have the attacking talent that everyone wants. Haaland is being watched by Man City. Sancho's been linked to United. They have that young midfield, Gio Reyna. They have Jude Bellingham. But that back line. They're gonna have to defend. Because Sevilla like to break you down slowly. They like to play a lot of passes, stuff like that. They play the most crosses in Europe right now. I think they have the most crosses with Juve being second. So I expect BVB to have to defend a lot, and they may not be able to break away as much as they'd like to, but they are going to have some chances. And it depends on if they're clinical enough to put those chances away. But they are going to have to defend. Defense has to be their number one priority because, they leak goals, and you can't leak goals in this Champions League, especially to a team like Sevilla. You have to respect them as European champions. We absolutely have to respect them as European champions. They are. They won the Europa League. But for this game, I'm predicting 2-1 Sevilla. I'm predicting 2-1 Sevilla. I think Sevilla are very talented. I think that Jules Koundé is a great defender. I do think that, and I think I think 2-1 will take the win at home. I do think that, and they'll go back to the reverse fixture at BVB, and they'll try to hold on to it. But I do think they'll win this one this time. But yeah, that's my predictions. That's my analysis of the games that happened and my predictions of the games that are gonna happen today. I'll be back later after the game with some post-game stuff, my analysis, what I thought. Definitely like and subscribe if you like what I'm talking. And all right, I'll see you guys later. Thanks.